Very good, gamers. How are we? This is Games and Chill, and we're in a new video on Mualani. Let's talk about the character. Let's talk about how important it could be, of what you do for a little bit. Because the kit analysis will be in 3 weeks when NATLAN's official live stream comes out. He's barely got 3 weeks left. And yes, I let you know it's a carry, like Kinish, but they're the two main and initial characters that will open up the new region that you're all waiting for, and we're here. I think it is the region with the most desire and hype that I personally have to be able to start it. Make content and bring you the best of me. So today, we're going to see Mualani what he's doing for Sok and how much he might be worth. Remembering that this is beta, and until NATLAN comes out, changes can occur. So leave a good like, a good ulti from Bennett. Thank you for supporting the channel. And remembering that this benefits for the video to have more exposure and for the algorithm to grow the channel even more and explode before NATLAN arrives. And we're going with Mualani. Well, Mualani, what's important? I think I've talked about it before, and it's a carry just like Kinch and actually the other character who's Kachina. Leave me in the comments if you also want a short video explaining what Kachina does. But it's not very complicated and it's kind of a Geo Kirara. Just if you want an extra video, leave me in the comments to see what interests you. But Mualani is a carry Hydro. Here comes the dilemma. It's a carry Hydro. It is Catalyst and Scale with life percent all its damage. It has very high multipliers, but few multipliers. Now I explain why. And many of us have thought the same thing. So what difference would it make with Neuvillette? And here comes the big difference. While Neuvillette puts in a single load and a very high continuous damage, can vaporize 1 in 3 hits. But you don't play steaming equipment, and in fact it's like pretty individual. For now, Kinch and Mualani are not individual carries that could be used Rooms of the Abyss, but with the right equipment, and it seems that, like Linian at the beginning of Fontaine, have mechanics very dependent on a future character that does not yet exist. She's the opposite of Neuvillette. She works on normal attacks, but you must vaporize them. She's going to vaporize, and now I explain how. Second important point is that all of NATLAN's characters are frames, as I explained in another video. Mualani is a saddle. It's the shark itself, which is also his elementary ability, that you can castrate it every 6 seconds and the cooldown all the time is 6 seconds. I mean, that if you get rid of the shark, you're gonna be 6 seconds without a shark and you can castrate it. Is this good or bad? It's good for the open world as it actually has a constellation that reduces 70% if you're not in combat. This cooldown, with which is a mount, and I think it is the best open world mount that will come for NATLAN and Dan. Fight if you get off the shark, which is their main source of damage, and you'll have to be in shark mode. You'll be 6 seconds without a shark. So you finish the rotation, and you have to rotate with the rest of the team. Why am I explaining this? Because all its damage comes from being mounted on the shark. Your normal attacks don't work at all, and you'd play 199 for anyone who likes it very much and likes it. Take to heaven, and basically when you're in shark mode. Without getting into a lot of history, because it has passives and stacks and things like that, you're hitting a shark bite that's considered normal attack damage every 2 seconds, and this is pretty much it. Be careful with this. And it also makes you not combine well with Furin, because Furin is going to pace Hydro passively, and it's going to rob you of the enemy absence again. It seems like as we are in the Pyro Nation. The Archon can be a species of Pyro Xingqiu that applies, or for now, before the Archon exists. It seems that this normal attack mechanics every 2 seconds that vaporizes all over the Hydro Plus is. Or next to remembering is much more damage seems to be. They want to do it for you to vaporize on the burn for what? To enhance burn equipment? To empower Emily that I told you can be quite powerful and combine both with Kinish and Mualani. Yeah, Emily coming in nothing. In 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, and maybe in the future if you can play a species of Mualani, Kazuha, Mavuika, Benenit, like teams that I've told you could be Kinish. What different mechanics does the shark have? Basically everything she does is normal attacks with 2 seconds of cooldown each other. The shark can go through the enemy to hit a mark that doesn't hurt but gives you a few stacks to make you more damage, and also when you build up certain stacks every 3 normal attacks you will get an extra bite. Then yumps the cooldown for 2 seconds and that does a little more damage. What does the ulti to complete the kit, and explain to you in a much simpler way what it does. Well, the ulti does nothing. Text literally has practically the ulti text, and the ulti only has cost of 60, which is really quite low, has cooldown of 15 seconds, but as the elementary has cooldown 6, as it is a carry that adapts quite and would have rotations until without throwing the ulti, and has a climbing of maximum life that can reach with a talent of ascension more than 100%, i.e. an ulti with a single nuke is a single number of damage that can vaporize, and for many people who like big numbers. As I explained in the directs, remember that the directs, because we see this with gameplay accompanied and everything. Otherwise, so the link down here, the description will make a gigantic vaporization, that is to say, you will see Mualani making 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, no more than 5, and not numbers like 10, 20 million as Arlequin. Because you can't accompany her from Venet because she climbs with life and doesn't climb with attack, but well, who knows if there maybe in NATLAN comes a life buffer like Venet, but Bufando, the life that would be this since lead to Sky and Neuvillette and the Mualani and so on, then your ulti is just a giant nuke, has no more as light. The ulti of Tartaglia, but with no extra passives than that. The other thing about changing weapons that I don't know what it is. A gigantic nuke is basically huge, so that you understand it without turning over to the talents and so on. Because talents have to do with what has been told, so that you understand what the gameplay of Mualani is like. It's like a gamine. It's like a gamine. It's not like a gamine. It's like a gamine. It's like a gamine. It's like a gamine. I mean, when you put this hit every 2 seconds with the shark, you're gonna be getting this vaporized so big and so high. And that's why for those of you who like leaks and so on, you've already seen gameplays where you see 500,000,000 shark bites. I think there's a video out there with the passive one you're on. I said every normal 3 that the normal room jumps in the ass and it hurts more. And there's a bite this 700,000. In one of the gameplays out there leaked, there's Altis already in filtered gameplays making 1 million and peak. Then, this because obviously I'd like to show it as soon as possible, or as I said before coming to the live shows, because we're watching it live and reacting here on YouTube because we can't teach this kind of fine images. You will see Mualani and Luke, and you will see little things from the editors because in the end they also explain very well. Things are good, but it's really like a gamine, just that it doesn't give down attacks, but it gives beatus every 2 seconds with the shock in an area that if you put together very well the enemies, if you can put the same blow on 2 enemies affected by burn and can vaporize in addition to a gigantic blow without any text in the ulti, that you can also make 1 million, 2 million with, which is a carry and is a carry hydro, is a carry hydro that is the best mount that will leave surely, and that also convia. And you need to play with the Archon as well as Kinnick, so little more. This is Mualani explained to Big. I hope that for many it clears many doubts and knows what they know what can be done to take into account. As I always say, and disclaimer that watch out for the theme of the Karis, as I said in the video of Quinnich Care, with the theme of getting warmed up as soon as NATLAN comes out, because it is the strategy not to empty the players too. Then come the real good that they are, because the with Buica theme, maybe a second with you, Captain Someone. Characters who can surprise the primordial dragon and something else out there, wild by NATLAN. So, well, there is the disclaimer, and finally remember that all this can change to the exit because I understand the height will be talking about this video over there. I've read that he's been lowered by some multipliers because I was doing so 500,000 per normal, and 1 or 2 million with the Ultin vaporized, even though there is still the Arconte that will surely benefit the gameplay of Mualani and equipment. So playing with Venezia on the line and things like that, they can apply Pyro, so that this lady vaporizes. So little more to leave a good ulti of Venet. Subscribe to you. Thanks for supporting the channel. Video, remember that it's free, and that all helps a lot. Let's try to get NATLAN with 150,000 subscribers. Exploit the button to subscribe and like and leave a good comment for algorithm, and little more carefully. Have very good day and Chito.